Casas. Hello, Elena. Now we're going to start in Tunisia, where the Arab Spring began, and elections being held there this Sunday.
The revolution is unfinished and daily life has changed for the worse. That's a headline of a big double page in The Guardian, who've been in Tunisia on the streets talking to potential voters, lots of whom are very cynical about the potential of this first election of the Arab Spring countries at the weekend. But The Guardian correspondent says after speaking to actual voters, she thinks there's probably more excitement about the Tunisian vote internationally than there is among actual Tunisians. Let's have a look at a couple of posters that have been put together by the Arabist website. They've been looking at what people have been doing in Tunisia to try and get out the vote. These shocking posters came up, one of the picture of Ben Ali going, "Don't vote, I'll look after you," and another one showing a beaten and gagged woman saying, "Vote to stop this from happening." So you can see that party political activists there are really sort of resorting to scaring people that they could return to another totalitarian government unless they vote.
And what are the papers making of the various political parties taking part? The Islamists are predicted to top the polls, in fact.
Well, there's quite a clever graphic in The Guardian that kind of shows who people might vote for. So if we can have a look at that, they've got a kind of series of bubbles, really, on axes going to left and right, and the more Islamist parties are at the top, secular ones are at the bottom. So you can see there's a big green circle at the top that represents the Islamists, but a bigger purple circle down at the bottom representing the secular centre-left, showing really, visually, that if those secular centre-left parties join together, they'll still get more votes than the Islamists themselves. But it's Ennahda, the Islamist party, that have got most press coverage. The Times in here have got a profile of their chairman, Rachid Ghannouchi, I hope that's pronounced right, in which he says he hopes that they've set an example for the whole world, not just the Arab world, but for protests like Spain's Indignados and Occupy Wall Street.
Speaking of Wall Street protests, there, police in New York have been accused of Stalinist erosion of protest rights.
That's a quote from the well-known feminist author Naomi Wolf, who was arrested on Tuesday night. According to her, she's written in The Guardian, she was at a dinner organised by the Huffington Post, went outside to give a speech to the protesters and was then arrested for blocking the street, apparently. She says she was just crossing over. Now, she's furious about this, as you might expect. This picture here of her being handcuffed in an evening gown has done the rounds of the internet. And she says it shows that the New York police are taking a totalitarian approach now to policing those protests.
And police in the UK also being accused of harsh treatment.
Have a look at the Independent front page. This looks like it should have been taken in Greece yesterday. It's a protester with a crucifix and what looks like a huge fire behind her. But it's not Greece. It's actually Basildon, just east of London. Now, this is a traveller encampment, which was where the people were evicted yesterday by British police. That was after a long legal process because the camp where they were living was illegal. But it's become very controversial. Police used taser guns on 2 protesters yesterday. And do you remember last year the French government got in trouble with the European Commission of Human Rights because they were sending Roma people living here back to Romania? Now, the European Commission of Human Rights is also unhappy with the way that Britain has treated these traveller people. So is Amnesty International. They write to the Huffington Post today saying that all these people want somewhere to live. The British government is being racist, really, by moving them on. And apparently local politicians said that they already had too many gypsies living in their area. Amnesty International tell the Huffington Post, if you just replace the word gypsies with any other ethnic group in that sentence, it becomes really shocking.
OK, let's end with the arrival of baby Sarkozy. It seems the British press getting a little bit more excited about it than the French press.
Yes, they are. Daily Mail is thrilled especially, as you might expect them to be. They've got a little mademoiselle for Carla and Sarko on their front page with a beaming pregnant Carla. And inside they have an article saying that all women can learn from Carla, apparently, according to the Daily Mail, about how to be graceful in your pregnancy, how to protect children from the public glare, and also apparently we should be grateful to her, says the Daily Mail, for being so honest as to complain about how she was fed up with being pregnant and not being able to drink or smoke.
Wow, OK. Well, I'm not sure about lessons being learnt from that, but still. Thank you very much for that look at the international newspapers, Elena Casas.